All right, our lesson today, what we're going to be talking about is the reality check, because it's important for you to start thinking about your careers. And what we're going to be using is SCOIS.net, which is what Ms. Smith used with you earlier when she looked at you with your career interest inventory and completed that. So we're going to be using that as well. Now, with the reality check, I want you to start thinking about money, because that's what our lesson is a little bit about today, is budgeting and how you budget your money. Because one day you're going to be an adult, you're going to be out of college, you finish your high school, finish your college, and you will actually be in your profession, in your career. And so with that part of it, just like your parents have to manage their money and they have to pay bills, one day that's going to happen to you too. Okay, so that's what we want you to just kind of start thinking about with budgeting and seeing how you're spending your money. Okay, raise your hand if maybe you have a part-time job, maybe you babysit for money. Okay, keep your hands up. Raise your hand if you get an allowance from your parents. Okay, no, keep your hands up if you had a part-time job, and then those who have an allowance, raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand if you get additional money from your parents as well. Like maybe you get money from your parents or your grandparents, or money on your birthdays or Christmas and holidays. Okay, so quite a bit of you get money. Okay, put your hands down. Okay, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down. Okay, all right. Raise your hand if you budget your money. If you have so much money, I'm going to do this with, and I'm going to spend this with. Raise your hand if you budget your money. Okay? All right, let's hear from some people. Okay, Chase, how do you budget your money?
Well, I try and save my money, but then there's a store that always has like really good deals, and then I end up wasting all my money on it. Like, I'm saving up for one thing, but then they start doing sales and I start wasting my money on the sales.
Okay, all right, so you try and save some of it, but then when you see a good deal that's going on, and you end up spending all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so you have to learn how to budget a little bit more. Okay, how do you budget?
I spend like half of it and then bring some to church on Sunday.
Okay.
And then the other half I get to spend.
Okay, all right. So you have a portion that you save. You say, okay, I'm going to save this amount. And then you have a portion that you tithe, because you're going to take it to the church. And then you have a portion that you're going to spend. Okay, that's a good way to save in the budget. How do you budget?
I keep mine in a piggy bank so I don't use it.
Okay, so you actually keep yours in a safe place so you won't be tempted to spend it. So you just don't carry it around when you're going shopping, because you're going to be tempted to spend it. Okay, how do you budget?
Oh, me. I like when I get money for Christmas, I save an amount for shoes and I save an amount for clothes.
Okay. All right, so you're spending you know how you want to spend your money. So you're budgeting so much on clothes and then so much on your shoes. Okay? How do you budget?
When I get a lot of money, I usually give 10% to offering at church. And then like Mari said, I save up for like shoes and things I want. Because I didn't get a BB gun for my birthday, so I'm going to save up for that.
Until you get it. So you're going to save.
I'm going to try to get my parents to pay for that.
Okay, all right. So then you're going to make a deal with your parents. Okay, if I can save this amount, you can pay this amount, and you're saving some for church as well. Okay, all right, who else? Okay, so all of those different ways that you mentioned, I mean, that's a good way to budget. You're actually saving a portion, so you're not spending all of your money. And then have a part of money that you can actually like spend, because you don't want to save everything. You want to have some fun too. So that's a good way to do it. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to do the reality check, and I have a little worksheet that I'm going to give out to you before we get to the actual SCOIS. Now, on the worksheet, this is the reality check worksheet. And could you pass? Yes, thank you. Okay, now with the reality check worksheet that's going around, what I want you to do is you're going to look at your expenses, okay? So you're going to pretend like you're finished with college and you're actually in your career. So whatever your chosen career is, you want to be a doctor, you're a doctor now. If you want it to be a teacher, you're a teacher now. Okay, so you're in your chosen profession. Now, with it, we're going to look at the different expenses, monthly expenses, not for the whole year, but what it costs you to live each month. Okay, so this is what you think it costs. And then in the end, we're actually going to go on your Chromebooks and we're going to look and compare what you think now without researching it. And we're going to compare it to see what's, reality. Okay, so with your monthly expenses, housing. How much do you think it's going to cost you, when you're an adult to actually pay for housing? You can rent, you can, purchase a house. So think about your housing and what type of housing you want to live, and how much that's going to cost you per month. Okay, well, that's what you're going to write down on your sheet, okay? With utilities would be electricity, water bills, sewage, all of that would be your utilities. So how much would that you think that's going to cost you monthly? Your cell phone, because you're definitely going to want your cell phone, right? Because you want one now. So how much is that going to cost, that expense? Food, how much are you going to want to eat out? Thank you, sir, for passing that out for me. Transportation, what kind of car are you on? And how much are you going to have to spend in gas and insurance? All of that is transportation. Clothing, health is, you have to go to the doctor, you have to pay for your insurance, you have your dentist bills, so how much is that going to cost you per month? Entertainment, you want to go to the movies, you hang out with your friends some, that's entertainment. Education, how much are you going to pay towards your education? Because you're in your chosen career, but you've had to go to college. So how much are you, that you paid for your education if you're going to have to, pay back with those different loans that you've taken out in order to pay for your education? Personal care, girls, we have to like to go and get our hair done. Guys, you want to go get your hair cut. So how much is that going to cost? All your personal care items, that soap, deodorant, all that good stuff that we just need every day. Miscellaneous is anything else is not included that you can think of that you might say, okay, I want to spend my money on. So maybe you want a pet, so how much is that going to cost? You're going to have to take them to the vet, you're going to have to buy food for them. And then loans, any other loans that you might have.
Like we have kids too, just for ourselves.
You can do it either way. You can either do it like you have kids, you have children, or you can just do it like just you're single and you're on your own all by yourself. So that's up to you, okay? And with savings, how much you're gonna save, you're gonna add everything up, and that's gonna be your expense total. And then I want you to think about your career and think about how much you're going to make in your profession, okay? So you can think about, okay, well, maybe a teacher makes $40,000 a year, so you're just going to divide that 40,000 by 12, and that's going to be your income, okay? Your balance, you're going to subtract your expenses from your income. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on that, okay, and I'm going to walk around and assist you, okay? What, Chase, you have a question?
Yeah, for the housing, does it mean like the monthly costs or like when you first buy it?
Monthly costs.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Renee, you had a question? You had a question?
What do you mean by entertainment?
Huh?
What do you mean by entertainment?
Movies, going out to concerts, anything like that you want to do.
Loans, what are these?
Anything you borrow money from, for. So if you borrow money from the bank, you have to pay it back. All right. So think about your monthly expenses and then complete that worksheet. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, your savings is going to be included in that as well.
How are you paying for education in your hours school?
How much money you had to spend on it, on your education? So like you're paying it back. So like some loans you've had to get for your education, now you have to pay that money back because now you're out of school. And then sometimes you might actually have your degree in your profession. You might want to go back to school to further your education.
For the income, is it talking about a year income?
Monthly.
still doing it.
That's fine to use a calculator. Include your savings in it.
It looks like a bird. We'll figure it out. That might be it. We got all day, so if you need to come back into the bar, it's fine.
I do this needles tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, so you have other. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
I was just thinking.
Yeah. This is the practice. This is the
good,
first time I'm
good.
doing it, so yeah, this is just the
Okay, so we're good then. Okay.
Very good, very good. Maybe fourth period.
No, one is one of these paybacks.
Yes, it does.
I just put what you said. Is that what I
What do you want to do?
I put 700.
No, this is fine. Like, yeah, you're not, I mean, you're a kid, so you're not gonna, you know, like, you're not gonna know. I can go through and do mine. You'll probably cry and try to take it
Am I
off
supposed to have
from
more
me.
of? Is my expense supposed to be higher than my income?
That's what we call debt.
I know, but like, I
Welcome to
get,
capitalism.
get more than just. I think I priced up myself.
What career choices do you want to? Like, what's something that you could possibly want to do? Oh, your dad makes $5.
What?
I said your dad makes $5.
Yeah, but my expensive total rounds up to 20,000.